See, what had happened was you thought you could go to YouTube University and learn how to become her from somebody who wakes up at 5 a.m. to do yoga and spends $500 on maintenance. Who said that that was the pathway? Who told you that that was the way? Now, I know you don't know me from a can of paint. And girl, you don't have to. But listen up, though, because we are all getting bamboozled out here. Wasted time, wasting energy on things that do not actually matter. These people out here are selling us this dream on how to become her. They look good on the outside, but what are they really giving on the inside? Society created this narrative that pretty, skinny, or perfection equals her. But beauty starts from the inside. Skinny ain't for everyone, and perfection does not exist. So where does that actually leave you? And how do you find out how to really become her and step into that position? Now, before we even get into all that, I really need you to ask yourself something. Is now even the right time for you to be stepping into your becoming? How long have you been at this? How long have you been stuck trying to become her the wrong way? Because you don't want to be on the wrong side of the clock. Putting in all of this work, trying to become somebody you haven't even defined yet. Trying to arrive somewhere you never got directions to. How long have you been waiting to do this? How long have you been spinning your wheels trying to become her without even knowing what needed to happen first before you could even start? Timing matters. And I think a lot of us have been trying to become her before we even understand what that actually means. And to be for real, that's exactly how we ended up at YouTube University in the first place. Now that you have walked into this becoming phase of your life and realized that it's now time for you to become her, you're realizing you don't really even know what to do with that. Well, I'm here to tell you, there is no guide for this. There is no downloadable PDF, no hardcover book that you can grab off that shelf that's going to tell us as women that we are moving through adulthood correctly and showing up exactly how we're supposed to. We are just out here winging it. Every single one of us. And because there is no guide, we do what we know how to do, which is go to YouTube University. We scroll TikTok at 2 a.m. looking for answers. We save every single Instagram post that says how to become her. Like, if we save enough of them, something just finally gonna click into place. But let's be real, from one friend to another, if a real guide existed, a blueprint built specifically for this, for your real life, not somebody else's highlight reel, one that actually took the guesswork out of becoming, I would download that thing in 2.5 seconds. No hesitation. Just take my email and run me that information. But unfortunately, that guide doesn't exist. So here we are, piecing together our becoming from people who don't even know our story, who don't know what we've been through, who don't know what our real life actually looks like. So let's peel back the layers of the onion, because I think it's time we actually figured this out for real this time. Let's think about this for a second. When I say becoming her, what are the first things that come to your mind? I'll wait. I'm willing to bet, put heavy money on it, that it was something to do with how she looks. Her morning routine, what she wears, how put together she is. And I'm in no way saying that the gurus are wrong. I'm not saying they don't know what they're talking about, because Some of them do. But again, you don't know me. And honestly, that might be actually why you need to hear this. Because I ain't here just because I'm making money. I ain't here because I'm just fulfilling a brand deal. So whatever I say, you can feel free to take it with a grain of salt, or you can step outside your comfort zone and put some real seasoning on this life that you got going on. And I want to be clear on this, because becoming her is not about Becky with the good hair and the flawless skin and the perfect nails. My skin is nowhere near flawless. I wear press-ons. And sometimes when I ain't got a wig on, I just throw some water in my hair and keep it moving. Real becoming, that kind that actually sticks, it's an inside job. Not because of what she looks like, but because of who she knows she is. Now, knowing who she is also knowing who she ain't. Right? We peeling back the layers of this onion, and eyes are finna the water get into this truth, okay? The one truth about who she ain't a woman who doesn't tend to her own garden. Think about that for a second. What do you need? How can we actually take care of ourselves? Because we are so busy tending to everybody else's garden, making sure theirs is flourishing, well-watered, taken care of. We out here making sure everybody is good. But how? The cup we've been pouring from, the cup we've been watering everybody else's garden from, is shattered. And that triggers something for me. We look for loyalty, consistency, and effort in every relationship that we have. With our friends, our partners, our family. We know what we deserve from other people, but are we holding ourselves to the same standard? Are you being loyal to yourself? Are you being consistent with yourself? Are you giving yourself the same effort and energy you pour out into everyone else every single day? Hell no. Hell no. You cannot pour from a vessel that no longer exists. The cup is so shattered, sis, that the water has nowhere to stay because there is no more cup. We spend our whole lives as women trying to help other people become, grow, heal, and succeed. And in doing all that, we throw ourselves completely to the wayside. And the more we do it, the more our cup weakens and weakens and weakens until one day you look up and there's nothing left. And then we wonder why becoming feels so impossible. We're trying to build something new from a foundation that has completely crumbled with a cup that has nothing left in it. How are we even doing this right now? We got to hit the refresh button. We have to go back to square one because you cannot build the woman that you are becoming on a broken foundation with a shattered cup. You just can't. You just can't. So what does square one actually look like? I want you to really sit with this. This is our starting point. I want you to think about becoming like a do's and don'ts list. You're going to have two pieces of paper. One paper is everything it takes to become her. The habits, the mindsets, the people, the environments, the versions of yourself that are worth building on. The things that are actually serving you and moving you forward. On the other paper, you're going to do everything it doesn't take. The patterns you keep repeating. The people who drain you. The habits that feel comfortable but are keeping you stuck. The versions of yourself you keep going back to even though you know they don't serve you anymore. Now, we're going to start with the second list. And this is what you're going to do with the second list. With the second list, you're going to put it in a lockbox, lock it up, and throw the key far, far away. And I know coming up with that is not simple. Letting go is hard. Moving on from what's familiar is hard. It's a messy journey that comes with a lot of uncertainty. And I ain't gonna lie, ain't nobody fronting and acting like it's not nothing otherwise. But here's what I also know. Those past versions of you were absolutely no mistakes. Don't hate on who you used to be. Those versions helped build you, showed you what you were capable of, even the ones you're not proud of, even the failures. Use them as stepping stones. Take what served you and honor it. And what didn't, throw it in a lockbox. Done. Being a woman is complex. We don't like to admit when we don't have it together because society just doesn't afford us the space to do that. We're expected to have kids and be married by 25, have our careers all figured out, and be well established at such a young age. And when we don't hit those marks on someone else's timeline, it creates this feeling of shame. Shame that I don't know what I want to do. Shame of not having children before 30. Shame of not being married, of feeling lonely, of not knowing how to navigate life. But that same shame, that is not yours to carry anymore. So we're going to be putting that in the lockbox too. You have to be completely honest with yourself about what actually goes in there. And I know it's scary. A lot of us genuinely are terrified of what kind of honesty that would reveal. But that honesty is not going to break you. Girl, that honesty is exactly where your becoming season starts. So here's what I want you to do before I come back next week. I want you to make your list, your real list, not the pretty perfection list, the honest, true list about yourself. We're going to start with what it doesn't take to become her. I want you to ask yourself, how long have I been carrying this? How long have I been letting this take up space in my cup, in my foundation, in my becoming? That's your homework. Simple, not easy. And I'm included in this too, doing this right alongside you. Okay? But that's not your only assignment though. I'm gonna need you to hit that subscribe button. Because how are we gonna know if you did your homework if you're not here next week? And how are you going to know what's next in your becoming journey if you don't stay close by? So subscribe. Yeah, go ahead and do that. And I will see you next week. Later, girl.